Thanks so much. I welcome you to Politics Today. I'm your brother Secret. The state of the nation is putting pressure on Nigerians to ask so many questions. One of the leading questions Nigerians are asking now is that, are we coming gradually to the point where we can conclude that the Supreme Court in Nigeria is the 49th cabinet minister under Tinubu, serving APC and APC only?
On the River State of emergency, a suit that has been before them for a while now. The delay in adjudicating on this case has been interpreted as the Supreme Court of Nigeria being scared, being afraid of adjudicating on the matter because of the political consequences if the matter goes against the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu.
Nigerians want to know, is the Supreme Court of Nigeria the 49th cabinet minister? We are using that word, that number, 49th, because Tunde Bakare told us that Tinubu appointed 47 cabinet ministers. He went ahead to tell us that the National Assembly, led by Akpabio, is the 48th cabinet minister. And the signs are everywhere. People are asking, is the Supreme Court in particular the 49th cabinet minister under Bola Tinubu, serving APC, serving the interests of Wike, serving the interests of Bola Tinubu? Is the Supreme Court of Nigeria the 49th cabinet minister? We have reason to ask that question. If you look at the judicial system in different countries within Africa, forget outside Africa, if you check justice administration within 40 African countries that believes in doing things a little bit in line with the rule of law, Nigeria's judicial system is becoming the worst in Africa. We do not just have bad judiciary. We are coming to the point whereby it's as if the judicial officers are demonic. So, Nigerians have reason to ask questions. Can we now conclude that the Supreme Court of Nigeria is the 49th cabinet minister? Is it that these men and women do not know why the Constitution exists? To enthrone law and order. Andoke, as the Attorney General or Minister for Justice under Goodluck Jonathan, told him point blank, by the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution, as amended, you do not have any power to remove a sitting governor. Kashim Shettima, Vice President under Tinubu, said not long ago that the President does not have power to remove a councillor of a local government, not to talk about removing a sitting governor. Today, we have Minister for Justice, Fagbemi, who does not know that the President does not have power to remove a sitting governor. And when this illegality came upon the Nigerian people, 11 PDP governors went to Supreme Court direct to challenge this illegality. The Nigerian Bar Association were bold to say the President have no power to remove a governor. You can declare state of emergency in any state, but to remove the governor, you do not have the power. To suspend the democratic process, you do not have the power. NBA said it emphatically. Case had been before the Supreme Court. And what we are being told now is that a compromised judicial officers cannot go against the person who may be their master, real or imaginary.
As people of Nigeria, when we can no longer believe in the judiciary, and when the judiciary itself becomes our major problem, we are in trouble. Jonathan said categorically, and he's right, no right-thinking man or corporation or government will come and invest in another government or another country where the judiciary is openly, seemingly, we can see very clearly that you can buy judgment.
If the Supreme Court is being manifestly seen or is said to be the 49th cabinet minister serving Tinubu, they cannot make pronouncement as is being rumored that will be contrary to the expectation of Tinubu. In that case, what we are being told from the grassroots by a certain group of people is that as every cabinet minister must obey Tinubu, so the Supreme Court also must obey Tinubu. We were expecting that this type of rumor must be dismissed with a wave of hand, and the Supreme Court will carry themselves with dignity and act, at least, considering the fact that the whole world is watching, considering the fact that investors are watching. When the impression is created, there is no hope of justice in Nigeria. No investor will come into this country. Why is the Supreme Court at war to destroy Nigeria? Why is the Supreme Court at war to take Nigeria backward? Why is the Supreme Court at war to ensure insecurity will take over? Youth restiveness, lawlessness caused by unemployment. Reason investors cannot come here. Why? Because of the activities of no other group than the Supreme Court of Nigeria. That have stated in no small way there is no hope of justice whatsoever in Nigeria. Supreme Court, no other body but the Supreme Court. No hope of justice in Nigeria. If the Federal High Court can make mistake, you go and appeal. Let's assume that the appeal court will follow, as we have heard, that politicians chase judges with billions of naira. That's what they told us. So we had it from them. That they are being chased with billions of naira. If the Federal High Court compromise, the appeal court compromise, when you get to Supreme Court, you see men and women of sound mind whose loyalty is to the law. Everybody will adjust themselves. They will adjust themselves because they know Supreme Court will not take any nonsense. Politicians will not be doing whatever they feel like. But when you hear that the Supreme Court is captured, it belongs to an individual or maybe one or two persons. They take charge, they decide. It does not matter what the Constitution says. That's the impression being created. It does not matter what the Constitution says. Because if Supreme Court knows what the law says, and an individual had violated that law, and the case is before them, in a country governed by law, just take that case to Kenya here, not too far from us. That case against concerning the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State will not last for up to 3 weeks in Kenya. Take it to Niger Republic. Within a month and a week, they are done with it. There are so many African countries that will not take that nonsense. The judiciary will dispose of that case in less than 4 weeks. In over 20 African countries, in less than 4 weeks, they will dispose of that case and restore the governor to his seat. 5 months gone. In few days now, 2 days, it will be 6 months after that declaration. And Supreme Court is asleep. And we are hearing all manner of things that, forget it. The courage to go against what Tinubu wants from them. The courage to ensure that their loyalty will be to the law is not there. It's not there. If Tinubu like, he can extend that state of emergency by 1 year. Nothing will happen. Within that period of 1 year, a year and 6 months, the Supreme Court will not still borrow courage to take a stand in line with the provisions of the law. That is why 5 Supreme Court justices decided to mock shame and package lies that there is no evidence of defection by Rivers State lawmakers, because that is what will serve the interests of Wike. So it does not matter what the law says. The Supreme Court justices, they can lie to serve the interest of a particular politician for whatever reason, for whatever benefit.
But whatever happens in the country, decisions that are taken by the executive arm of government, decisions that are taken by the parliament, judicial decisions affect everybody. For example, no businessman can bring his money to invest in a country where the judiciary is compromised. Where a government functionary can dictate to judges what judgment they will give. No man brings his money to invest in that economy because we are taking a big risk.
Nigerians are asking questions. We need explanation. The government belongs to the people. Democracy is government of the people, by the people for the people. We need explanation. Is the Supreme Court now the 49th cabinet minister under Bola Ahmed Tinubu? What is going on now is very shameful. That a case, a very sensitive case, that will restore order, encourage investors to come into Nigeria, had been before the court. And the governor is now serving the 6 months all through without the court being able to assert themselves and make a pronouncement. What a shameful development. A madman does not feel the shame of nakedness. It's the relations. We, the Nigerian people, are the one feeling the shame of the activities of those taxpayers' money is wasted to pay them salary. Make their lives so comfortable. They live big, with vehicles, everything provided for them. But they are now manifesting as if they are a terror to the Nigerian people. Supreme Court justices. Very sensitive case before you. The governor will serve the period of the state of emergency without the court being able to say, no, the constitution has been violated. You needed to take a position. Let us see the argument you people will come up with. Let us see what you will do. Whether the same way you did in 2023 presidential election, where you saw blank paper as result sheet and was not able to know, under no circumstances whatsoever, can blank paper be the result sheet generated by INEC after conducting an election. Come to think about it, the same INEC satisfied the blank paper as the document used to collect election result. And the deputy director of INEC, ICT in INEC, was brought before the court and the result sheets handed over to him. Can we know the score of the political parties? He said there is nothing written on it. The document is satisfied, which they used to collect result. The ICT deputy director said there is nothing written on it. Clearly proved beyond all reasonable doubt. And that document affected over 4 million votes. Yet 7 Supreme Court justices decided to cast every sense of shame behind their back and say duly elected with blank paper result sheets. Is there anything that will not happen in Nigeria? What will not happen in Nigeria does not exist. That which will not happen in Nigeria is as if it does not exist.
11 state governments have challenged it. The federal government has filed their defense, when the Koko is here, with preliminary objection and counter affidavits. So what is stopping the hearing of this case? So my recommendation is that the Supreme Court should, as a matter of urgency, whether there is on vacation or not, hear that matter immediately.
Supreme Court will hear thee. But Nigerians, we have the constitutional right to ask questions. We have the constitutional right to demand for explanation. Is the Supreme Court now the 49th cabinet minister? We are told that the National Assembly is the 48th cabinet minister. Who will save Nigeria? Nigerians, wake up. We are all at risk. May it please you to share this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for your time.